Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. My name is Chris Meyer. I'm going to be your host today. And today on the show, we have Rick McEwen with Rick McEwen's Big Show. First time he's ever been on the show. Legendary Branson entertainer, been here for a long time, worked with a lot of people. I look forward to learning more about how he got in the business and talking about his show today. Halloween is like right around the corner as we launch this show. And folks, you can still come to Branson and check out the events going on at Silver Dollar City. They've got all those pumpkins out there. There's some exciting events out at Shepherd of the Hills as well. And then right around the corner, starting November 1st, is Ozark Mountain Christmas. And we look forward to celebrating Christmas in Branson every year. And so lots to do at Christmas time as well. I want to give you a few facts about Halloween, though. And I found this quite interesting. Every year, more than 1 billion pounds of pumpkins get tossed out and left to rot in America's landfills. That's a lot of pumpkins. At least they are biodegradable. Did you know that Illinois harvests the largest share of pumpkin acreage across all states? I did not know that. And Americans purchase nearly 600 million pounds of candy a year for Halloween. So the question is whether people are going to purchase that much candy for this Halloween due to COVID, whether people will still trick or treat or not. And then an incredible 90 million pounds of chocolate candy are sold during Halloween week. That's a lot of candy. Now, if you happen to be in Branson on Halloween, I have to tell you about this one event. It's brand new this year, and it is the night before Christmas 5K run, and it'll start at Westgate Resorts and go through the Lights of Joy. So on Halloween, you can dress in costumes and run through Christmas lights. The only place in America I think you could probably do that. So check that out. You can go to trilakes.klife.com. If you haven't signed up, you got to do it quick. We'll be back in just a minute with Rick McEwen. Stay tuned. Hey folks, welcome back to the show, and today I have Rick McEwen. Did I pronounce that right?
You did.
I did. And this is your first time on the show, so welcome.
First time.
It's good to have you.
Thank you very much. This is it's going to be a lot of fun. I've watched your show several times online on Facebook, and it's
good.
Really enjoy it.
Good. So you've been in Branson a long time, but we always do this where we take us back. Take us how you got into this music business and how you got to where you are now. And we'll talk about the show, of course, later that you're in. But
Sure. 17 years old. I got a guitar when I was 13. My brother bought a guitar. He never played it, so I picked it up and started playing it. And long story short was I learned how to play and spent my formative years in music around north central Alabama, Coleman. We played everywhere from Atlanta. 76, I had an opportunity to move to Nashville.
okay.
Moved up there to audition for Hank Williams Jr., his first audition after he fell off the mountain and busted his, well, anyway, that's another story. But that's what got me to Nashville. And when I was there, I worked for a group, the Blackwood family. They're actually in Branson now, R.W. and Donna.
Yeah.
Worked for them. And then I went to work for a guy named Earl Scruggs. Earl was Foggy Mountain Breakdown. I don't remember the banjo player. Worked for him for 2 years. And got to meet a lot of people through him. And
so are you playing guitar when you're doing this?
Bass. I actually played bass guitar.
Bass guitar, okay.
And he was pretty influential as far as in my life, as far as get out there and do it. We're not gonna beg you to get up here and play. You got to step up. Mm-hmm. And after 2 years with them, I ended up working for a group called the Dillards. You might know them as the show, the Darling Family on the Andy Griffith Show. They did 5 episodes of that. Never said a word. That's what brought me to Branson with those guys. We moved here in '84.
Okay.
And we did the night shows at Silver Dollar City. Back in the day, we did all original music on the Echo Hollow show. It was real tough playing in front of 3,500 to 4,000 people a night out there, and outdoors. Beautiful, wonderful venue out there. When that run was over, it was 88, went to work for the Ozark Jubilee for a year. Then I met up with Mark McCauley. Mark is the bass singer of Grain Country.
Yeah.
Him, Mark Perriman, who's with the Presleys now, and a guy named Mark Garner. Mark's out there. He's a drag racer, used to sell used cars. Hey, Mark, how you guys doing? Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll see this. And anyway, we were called the Ozark Mountain Boys. We worked at the Lowe's Theater, where Jim Stafford's theater is now. And we opened for Loretta Lynn, George Jones, Waylon Jennings, Jerry Reed, Dottie West. We opened up for all these country artists. And that was a great event. And by happenstance, I guess you call it, I ran into Jim and Ann Stafford one night, and they were auditioning a keyboard player. Jim says, "You play?" And I said, "Sure." So I sat in. And next thing I know, they hired me. And I worked for Jim and Annie for 14 years. And 1990 to 2004, I was a featured singer, bass player. We were black light show operator. We did this stuff. My buddy Lex Pearson, we flew flying saucers.
You did all sorts of kind of things.
We did everything. We cross-trained. That's what I call it. And but those were great times for me, formative, helped me. I'd always been behind a bass guitar playing, and Jim says, no, get out there and sing. You don't need all that. So then you try to figure out what to do with your hands. Since that time, I worked with the Penny Gilley show for a while. We owned the RFD television.
Right.
And we did that. I did Ozark Mountain Jubilee down in Eureka Springs.
Eureka Springs.
Did that for 4 seasons. 2 years ago, I decided to go to, when I finished my job here, we'd run 12 months a year. And now we're trying to run 9 and try to squeeze as much as we can into that. But we used to do hot winter. We call it hot winter fun. It went all winter.
Right.
We played at least every weekend. And then the weather fought that. So a lot of people were trying to survive and keep it going, and it was just eating up, a lot of resources. Hopefully that comes back again. That was a wonderful time in Branson because it was cool weather. Everybody adapted to it. The theaters adapted to it. And, but as of late, I do some tours in South Texas. I go down and do the Rio Grande Valley. And for those of you that are watching that are from Minnesota and Canada and Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, that area, during the winter from December to March, it's 75 to 90 degrees every day.
That's pretty good.
It's tough hanging out down there because you really don't know what season it is, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah. We're about 30 minutes from South Padre Island. Yeah. But this year, it's been we've had a lot of fun going on. I'm excited. I have a show at the IMAX in the Little Opry Theater. It's called the owner of the IMAX invited me to come over, and he said, "What are you going to call your show?" And I said, "I don't know. Let me tell you tomorrow." And so I decided. I said, "Well, what would sound important?" And so I call it Rick McEwen's Big Show, and it's everything from classic rock, classic country, gospel, bluegrass. I do some old R&B songs, sing along. You remember My Girl, some stuff like that. And
so on your brochure here, it says you're a member of the Traditional Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Well, back in 2011, a friend of mine came to me and he said, "I want to nominate you because of everything you've experienced through your Nashville years and everything." And he said, "I want to nominate you into the Traditional Country Music Hall of Fame." And I said, "Wow, I've never had anybody think that much of what I did, And sure enough, I got nominated and I got inducted, and I'm a member now. And standing along with some great people. Mickey Gilley is in now. My buddy John McEwen, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, he's in it. There's several people in it. But we went up to Lamar's, Iowa, and they do a big festival, and it surrounds a lot of players, a lot of music. I got to jam with some wonderful players. And then the finale of the awards is I picked, I put together a band of the players that were local there, the guys that had won. So everybody that was in the band was in the Hall of Fame. And we played 4 or 5 songs, and that was kind of the induction, and then they handed me the plaque. It was a wonderful time. Beautiful thing. Okay,
this is a good place for us to stop. We're going to come back in just a minute, and we're going to hear more about Rick McEwen's big show over at IMAX, at Little Opry Theater. And so stay tuned. We'll be right back in just a minute.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We are here with Rick McEwen, one of Branson's legendary performers. And Rick, you've launched a new show during COVID.
Yes.
And that's crazy.
Yes.
But you're doing it.
I'll be fine. No, you know what? It's in Branson, and it's what's so unique about Branson is you can't just come to town and say, hey, we'll start a show. We got some costumes and some musical gear. Let's start a show. It doesn't work. Willie Nelson came to town, and Merle Haggard, I don't know if you remember those years.
A long time ago.
They came to town unannounced saying, okay, we're going to start a show. People just come flocking. They weren't getting half houses back in the day. I was working for Jim. We were selling out 5 nights a week. And 5 of 6 nights we were back wall to wall. And Willie and Merle are down the street and doing a half a house. And I said, that's not right. But people don't realize we live in a town of about 11,000 people. Most of those people, well, 50,000 proper, but a lot of those people are working here. Some of them don't come see the show, or maybe they see it once and they're good. But what you have to do here, it's like what we're doing here. We're reaching out to you guys who maybe you're sitting in one of your beautiful hotels and wondering, what are we going to do? What are we going to go see? And, it's usually hand to hand. We go door to door. Normally, during a normal time of the year, when we don't have a COVID going on, we go continental breakfast. We go in and shake hands, establish relationships, and a lot of those relationships last forever. We have people that'll come back 2, 3, 4 times a year and see the same show, and I'm always honored by that. But meeting a lot of new friends. People come in and they've got their mask on and they're uncomfortable. And we've done everything we can possibly do to, keep the theater distance. We've got plenty of room in the theater. That's one of the upsides.
So if somebody's never seen your show, like, what can they expect?
You can expect, first off, I've been nominated Male Vocalist of the Year in Branson before I became the producer of the Branson Terry Music Awards. And now I can't run for anything because that would be inappropriate. But like I said, over the years, I've won Upright Bass Player of the Year a couple of times, some awards and things like that. I have a range that is higher than when I was 30 years old. I'm older than 55 now. And Social Security is great. Not just kidding. But when I was singing with the Blackwoods, I was doing a lot of the tenor work. When I was with the Dillards, I sang a lot of the high parts. And over the years, I've got a pretty good range. And I sing anything from, like I said, I do R&B to country to bluegrass to, and just, you're going to hear great vocals. I promise that. If you're not, I'll give you money back. Or I'll buy a ticket to a show of your choice if you don't like my show.
I love that. You're speaking volumes there.
I'm not saying that's gutsy, but there's some great shows in town, huge productions. But my show, it's intimate. I'm going to sing for you. You'll sing along with me. I'm going to tell some jokes. Some of them are even funny. I have funny stories about my grandpa, which is, they're quick. I won't bore you with taking 15, 20 minutes doing a joke section. But I probably sing, you'll get 30, 40 songs in an hour and a half. I mean, we go through it, and sometimes if I'm feeling frisky, we'll do some requests, and I do some gospel music. If you're offended by gospel music, don't come see my show, because I do a couple. And but if you would like to come see my show, and at the end of that show, if you don't feel good from what you just saw, if you're not entertained, or you're saying, I don't know if I got my money's worth, you come see me. I'll buy you a ticket to any show in town. Wow. You and your wife, or if you bring the whole family, they're not happy, I'll buy tickets for you.
And so you're at the Little Opry Theater.
It's a Little Opry Theater inside of the IMAX.
And so it's an intimate theater.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
You remember Jimmy Rogers, Honeycomb, all that? Jimmy used to do a one-man show in there, and he always commented, and he said, I love it. It's like the old listening rooms, the old folk clubs in the listening rooms, because the worst seat in the house is 20 feet away. Right. So that means we could have two people between you and the back of the room, and you still be 20 feet away from me. Mm-hmm. And you can see when I'm, look in my eyes, you can look close in my eyes, and you see what I'm thinking, because we literally have a ball.
Yeah, no, I'm showing here 2:30, is that right? 2:30?
It's 2:30 on Sunday afternoons, and 2:30 on Monday afternoons.
So it's the afternoon show.
And we've confirmed next year I'll be here starting the latter part of March, and I'll do every Sunday and Monday through the end of November. That's when I go to warm country.
Yeah. And so you're doing this. You're also in another show in town. And you do some other stuff as well, right?
A really good friend of mine. We worked together. We used to have a restaurant here in town called the Majestic Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And during that time, we put a show in that theater, and I was his musical director. Well, he calls me and says, I'm putting a show in the Star Theater. And I remember going to that theater when it was an auto show. And then Shoji remodeled the theater. He bought it, remodeled it. Then he moved to his big theater. And then everybody from Yakov, Mel Tillis performed there. Wayne Newton was in there for, they came in, I don't know, we did a big fundraiser for raising funds for water for, I think it was one of the islands or something in the Caribbean. But everybody came to the show, and Wayne was in town. So we had wonderful events like that where all of the entertainers in town came together. We still do that occasionally. I actually had a quadruple bypass in 2017, and a friend of mine, Larry Allred, with Grand Country, he calls me and says, we're going to do a fundraiser. And I said, no, it's okay, I'm fine. I'm gonna be fine. He said, no, he said, you don't realize how big a deal it was. And I didn't at the time. And I thought, well, maybe I'll have, 20, 30 people show up, and it'll be fun, and we'll get to pick some music and everything. And I had somewhere close to 600 or 700 people show up.
Wow.
My buddy Shoji, he came in and played for us. Chisai Childs, who's not with us anymore, that was one of the big instigators of Branson shows back in the day. She was there. And everybody played. Everybody played and had a big time.
I feel like we've just touched the surface with you today, because there's so much history that you have seen in this town, and you've been here a long time. And the nice thing is you've been able to be a performer for a long time.
Oh yeah, 45 years.
And that's and so folks, and I said this on the show many times, is our Branson entertainers are the best in the world. And if you're sitting at home right now, you need to come to Branson. You need to get out of your house, come to Branson, enjoy some live entertainment. These folks are social distancing, and come see Rick at his show.
Shameless.
At the Little Opry Theater. He's doing it Sunday and Monday afternoons at 2:30.
Yep.
And
nominated Best Show of the Year. Huh? Best New Show of the Year.
Best New Show of the Year.
Yeah, there was 5 of us. We'll know the end of October. So
there you go. Folks, we'll be back in just a minute. Thanks for watching.
The Christmas season is a perfect time for family traditions, and Branson's Lights of Joy, Branson's all-LED drive-thru, is a great way to create those lasting Christmas memories. This year, discover new LED Christmas displays and an amazing tunnel with state-of-the-art lighting. Santa loves these lights. Branson's Lights of Joy is located just north of Sight and Sound Theater on Expressway Lane. Open nightly through January 1st. Visit lightsofjoydrivethru.com.
Hey folks, we're wrapping the show up today. I just feel like we just touched the surface with Rick, and just he's got an incredible history in Branson. One of the things we didn't talk about, he's actually produced 8 musical shows, 10 albums. He's done music for a Walt Disney production. And so I'm hoping in the future we can talk to him more about some of that stuff. Be sure to go check out his big show over at the Little Opry Theater in the IMAX complex. You can get those tickets at ibranson.com. In fact, if you need help planning your entire Branson vacation, you can go to ibranson.com. You can purchase hotels, shows, attractions, the whole bit there. Or you can call those people at 1-877-ENTERTAIN. Christmas begins, as I said, November 1st here in Branson. So be sure to plan your trip to Branson during the Christmas season to see the Christmas lights. It's time to get out of the house. Some people are being like, is Branson open? Is it closed? It is open. Most everything is open. People are doing social distancing. It is COVID friendly. There is a mask mandate in town as of this recording. And so there will be places that you will have to have a mask. There's other places where you don't. So check all that out. Thanks for watching. If there's anybody you want to see on a future show, let us know. And let me tell you, our next episode, I cannot wait. Our next guest on next week is going to be Rhonda Vincent, and you're going to want to hear all about her new show for this Christmas season here in Branson. So watch next week. Thanks for watching. Adios.